Bueno, el último momento tiene que ver con Julián Álvarez. ¿Por qué, Germán, compañeros? Porque el Barcelona empieza a acelerar para quedarse con el delantero del Atlético de Madrid después del Mundial. No va a ser una operación sencilla, pero hay tanto optimismo en el Barcelona que los hermanos de Julián Álvarez ya están buscando casa para el delantero en la ciudad catalana. Atención con esto, es un detalle que habla del optimismo que hay por parte del Barça para quedarse con el ex River. No va a ser sencillo, decía, ¿por qué? Porque pagó en su momento Atlético de Madrid 75 millones de euros para quedarse con su ficha y porque la cláusula de rescisión es de 500 millones de euros, pero va a haber negociaciones y ya hay charlas.
Julián, ¿tú la próxima temporada puedes garantizar que estarás en el Atlético de Madrid?
Yo qué sé, no sé, pero puede ser que sí, puede ser que no, nunca se sabe, pero yo estoy muy feliz acá, como te dije recién. Nada, me hacía una pregunta que después sale por todos lados, pero yo estoy feliz, pienso en el día a día, trabajo para mejorar, para dar lo mejor acá, y yo nunca dije nada ni hablé mal del club, así que nada, estoy muy agradecido, la gente hoy también me brindó su cariño, así que estoy muy feliz.
Oye, Julián, ¿habías visto un partido tan raro en los primeros 15
Bueno,
minutos?
esto ya es... atención al titular que le ha sacado Pedro Fullana a Julián ahora mismo. O sea, un chico con un contrato en vigor multianual le pregunta, ¿vas a estar el año que viene? Y dice, puede que sí, puede que no, quién sabe, estoy contento. A mí me ha sorprendido.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about Julián Álvarez once more. And it has been reported that Julián Álvarez is Barcelona's main target to reinforce the number 9 position this summer. And the club has already initiated early contacts with Atletico Madrid to understand their stance. And so as of right now, Barcelona don't have anything advanced with Julián Álvarez. What's currently going on is Barcelona want to find out how Atletico Madrid view this potential transfer that could be happening in the summer of 2026. But this deal is going to be very complex because Atletico Madrid do not want to sell. Atletico Madrid, as a matter of fact, just signed Julian back in 2024 for 100 million euros from Manchester City, and he does have a contract with Atletico until 2030 with a 500 million euro release clause. As a matter of fact, with Barcelona trying to bring in the player at the same time, Atletico are trying to extend his deal until 2032. So Atletico do view Julián Álvarez as a long-term player. They don't plan on keeping Julian for like 1 to 2 to 3 seasons. They want him there for a very long time, kind of like Antoine Griezmann, for example. But Barcelona do have a strategy, and I believe that Barcelona's strategy needs to be very well placed because Barcelona do hope that the player's desire to move can help unlock this deal. It's a very similar situation to Antoine Griezmann in 2019, and this is going to be the conversation that I do want to have with you guys because a lot of this is reminding me about how Griezmann moved to FC Barcelona for a total of 120 million euros. And I believe that Julian needs to look at the operation of Griezmann moving to Barcelona and say, what can I learn from that? And how did a player like Antoine Griezmann, who is considered a legend to Atletico, move to Barcelona successfully? And the reason why is because in May 2019, Griezmann released a video. I don't know if you guys remembered, but Griezmann did release a video on telling the Atletico Madrid fans that he is leaving, that he no longer feels like he has a place at Atletico and he wants to have a different journey and to move to FC Barcelona. And so because of that public stance that Griezmann took, Atletico could no longer pretend that everything was normal. Atletico were in a way forced to sell Antoine Griezmann because Griezmann gave Atletico no other choice. And this is what Griezmann said: I have made the decision to leave. And then he later thanked Atletico Madrid, Simeone, the club, the fans, and he publicly closed the door. So this created pressure. And the reason why that operation took such a long time from the moment that he did announce his departure to Barcelona paying the release clause is because Griezmann and Barcelona knew as a collective that they needed to wait until July 1st, 2019 for his release clause to drop to 120 million euros because it was going to be 200 million euros that Barcelona will have to pay. But Barcelona waited and they triggered the 120 million euro release clause. The Atletico Madrid fans got very angry. Same thing went on with the club. But all in all, it was all about Griezmann putting pressure on Atletico, and that is how the deal got completed. Griezmann made Atletico Madrid and the fans understand that emotionally he was gone and he really wanted to move to FC Barcelona. And I think that this is the only part that Julian can learn from, because Griezmann did not go to war publicly every day saying that I want to move, I want to get out, I don't know what's going on, but I want to move away from Atletico Madrid. He never insulted Atletico. He made it very clear that his chapter there was finished at that time. However, I don't think that Julian also needs to make a video, for example, telling the fans that he's going to be moving away. I think that there is some messy parts in Griezmann's move to FC Barcelona. Julian does not need to do any of that, because at that time Atletico Madrid were pretty frustrated. They felt a little disrespected only because there were so many negotiations going on between Barcelona and Griezmann at that time, right? Everything was being discussed about the timing and the negotiations and how they were willing to wait until July 1st to have a lower release clause. Once again, Julian does not need to do any of that. He does not need to talk to FC Barcelona and say like, okay, what's going to be the negotiation and the strategy here? How can we lower the release clause? What do we need to do? Julian needs to step away from that. Just speak to Atletico Madrid and Atletico Madrid only, and just say, I want to move to FC Barcelona. I don't want to make any public announcements. I just want to start a different journey. I know that over the past few hours, we have heard Julian clarify on the rumors of him potentially joining FC Barcelona. If you go look at all of the interviews that he has had earlier today, and I've always said that because Atletico Madrid are in the middle of their competitive season, trying to get into the Champions League final, Julian is not going to be saying anything in regards to potentially joining Barcelona. He has to maintain composure. He has to maintain more unity with Atletico Madrid because it is the most professional thing to do. For example, these are one of the things that he said. We're in the most important part of the season with very important matches. So I try to focus on that and doing my best, being in good shape so I can help the team and achieve great things at Atletico. And this is him reacting to the Barcelona rumors, never denying, never saying yes. He's only saying, I don't want to comment on nothing. We're in the middle of this important part of the season, which is once again the most professional thing that Julian can do. We'll see what happens when Atletico Madrid exit the Champions League or win the Champions League, because the attitude, the wording of Julian, all of that could change just within a matter of hours. But let's remember, the number one goal for Julian to make this operation happen is to force negotiations and just to privately tell Atletico and the president that he wants to consider offers and going to FC Barcelona and not renewing with Atletico Madrid in the first place. That has to be the cleanest route. It has also been claimed that Joan Laporta will personally lead negotiations, which is a crazy thing to hear, because usually when we hear that Joan Laporta wants to get into an operation, you know that it's going to be a big deal. And Joan Laporta does have a history on always intervening on negotiations, trying to have influence, because we know that he's charismatic, we know that he can be political, we know that he has power within those spaces. History does tell us that when Joan Laporta is in front of these deals, most of these deals do get completed. Sometimes they don't, but usually they do. Like how Ronaldinho moved to Barcelona in 2003. It was a Joan Laporta-led negotiation. We can talk about Samuel Eto'o in 2004 or Dani Alves in 2008. We can talk about Dani Alves' return in 2021, and then came the most recent ones like Lewandowski, Rafinha, and Jules Koundé, which were all led by Joan Laporta, mainly because Laporta has a great relationship with many of these agents. Even though players like Lewandowski, Rafinha, and Jules Koundé were getting better offers in the Premier League, Joan Laporta still had the pull power because he led the negotiations. However, it doesn't always work. Like for example, David Beckham was supposed to join FC Barcelona in 2003, but it never happened. And that is only because David Beckham never truly chose Barcelona. He was always open to other offers, like a team like Real Madrid. We can talk about Erling Haaland, where Barcelona wanted Erling Haaland back in 2021, 2022. Laporta was trying to get in front of this deal, but because of the finances and with Man City having a better advantage, it is what led towards Haaland moving to Man City and not Barcelona. We can even talk about Messi and his renewal that was supposed to happen back in 2021. Laporta wanted that, but as soon as he knew that the finances were not okay, he could not do anything about it, and Messi had to go elsewhere. So let's see how it turns out with the likes of Julián Álvarez. I do believe that his operation is going to have to look a lot more like a Lewandowski, Rafinha, or Jules Koundé operation compared to a player like David Beckham or Erling Haaland. Julian, once again, has to choose FC Barcelona and make it a priority after he finishes his season with Atletico and also his campaign in the World Cup that will be happening in the summer. So as of right now, reports have claimed that Alvarez camp is very confident about the move. I'm not too sure about the situation in regards to him finding housing in Barcelona. I don't think that that's true, but we'll see. Only time will tell. Since we are talking about the number 9 position, I also want to give some clarity on Lewandowski because a decision is very imminent. Lewandowski will decide his future within the coming days. He could stay at FC Barcelona or he could move to Italy. And the clubs that are involved currently, it is Juventus and AC Milan. The agent Pinizavi is already in Italy, by the way, holding a lot of key meetings, and then he's going to be traveling to Barcelona to finalize certain discussions. Like he will be taking in offers from Juventus, AC Milan, bringing them to FC Barcelona, and also to Joan Laporta and Deco. And I'm sure that Pinizavi is going to have to say, like, look, this is what Juventus and AC Milan are offering. Lewandowski is considering. Could you guys match these offers? If not, then Lewandowski is going to have to move to either Juventus or AC Milan. And I think that it's highly likely that Lewandowski might actually go to Italy because Italy looks very appealing. Both clubs are offering a 2-year contract versus Barcelona, where they're offering a 1-year contract to Lewandowski. AC Milan and Juventus are also guaranteeing Lewandowski a starting role, and Lewandowski wants Champions League level competition. He wants to stay in Europe, and Lewandowski is currently not interested in moving to the MLS yet. So that's huge because that means that those offers coming from Saudi Arabia or the MLS, it's going to get minimized, and we're going to start to see more clarity on where Lewandowski might be going next. And it could be in Europe. Let's remember that Barcelona have offered Lewandowski a 1-year contract with a salary reduction of 50%. But here's the thing. You would assume that Lewandowski is leaving Barcelona only because of money and that, you know, maybe he's seen more money at AC Milan or Juventus, but it's mainly because of the clarity or the lack of clarity that Barcelona has been bringing to Lewandowski, because Lewandowski does not know his role under Hansi Flick for the next season. He does not know how many minutes and how much importance he's going to be getting next season as well. And Lewandowski does want that. And here's the thing. I understand where Lewandowski is coming from, because if Barcelona as a collective don't even have clarity on who is going to be their number 9 next season, like the fact that they're still negotiating with Julian, the fact that they're looking at a plan B like Osimhen or any other striker in Europe, you can tell that it's very gray right now. Everything is 50-50. And to Lewandowski, and the way that he views all this is like, of course, you guys cannot tell me how much importance and minutes I'm going to be getting next season, because you guys don't even know what's going to happen to the number 9 position. You guys don't even know who you guys are going to be signing. And it all depends on who they sign and how that will affect Lewandowski and his role at Barcelona. But Barcelona don't have that yet. Ideally, Barcelona do want Alvarez and they want to shift towards a younger project, but we do not know if this deal will get completed. All in all though, if Lewandowski does stay, I wouldn't mind, because Lewandowski has been doing good. I think that he could be better, but he is good enough to make Barcelona competitive. The fact that at Barcelona, he has played 188 games with 118 goals scored, that is averaging 0.62 goals per 90 minutes. That is a better goal scoring rate than what he had at Borussia Dortmund, which was 0.55, but a little below his peak at Bayern Munich, which is very normal, where he had 0.92. All in all, Lewandowski is elite. He's just not in his prime anymore. So ideally, if it is possible, I hope that Barcelona, which this is like the best case scenario, but I hope that Barcelona end up with Lewandowski in the next season, and at the same time maintaining Julián Álvarez. Having those two players in the number 9 position for the next season is really going to help. But that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.